pretty big news regarding Tom Aspinall from his manager, Eddie Hearn, on Ariel Helwani's show today. And we're going to read the tweet here from MMA Orbit. If you guys aren't following MMA Orbit, they do a great job of posting news and sourcing and all that stuff. So go give them a follow if you aren't already. But it says, Eddie Hearn tells Ariel Helwani that Tom Aspinall's father, Andy Aspinall, has informed the UFC that the undisputed heavyweight world champion is ready to return. Hearn says they will be speaking with the promotion to finalize a fight date in the coming weeks. Now, I know Aspinall's talked about returning and all that stuff. I haven't heard anything definitive. To me, and let me know if I'm wrong, this is the first time we've actually heard that they are like talking to the UFC and talking about an actual fight date. So this is a pretty big news. Obviously, the big story with Aspinall being out for so long because of the eye poke, and there was a lot of fan backlash and everything else. And, you know, the White House card, and should that have been for a vacant title? I mean, if Aspinall is ready to come back now, they made the right choice in not vacating the title, because last time I checked, it hasn't been a full year since Aspinall defended his title. It's June 24th. I imagine Tom Aspinall, if you remember his last fight, which was end of October, he's probably going to have his fight before that, I would think. I don't think they're going to do, if they're talking right now, they're probably going to have a fight a little bit earlier than that. So this is good news. Again, I've done videos on this before. Like, we did not know if there was a guarantee he was going to fight again, right? With eye injuries, you never know. None of us are doctors. And I know there's been a lot of wild speculation out there, but I mean, the good news here, more than anything, is that it appears that Tom Aspinall is coming back here. If Eddie Hearn's saying this, who's his manager, we got to take it for face value. It's interesting that he says his father said that. It'd be, you know, I don't know why Hearn just didn't say, I talked to Aspinall, I work for him, he told me he's coming back. So I don't know why the father's sort of the middleman here, but yeah, this is great news. And undoubtedly, it's got to be the fight with Ciryl Gane. Gane, you know, absolutely destroying Alex Pereira in their last fight. I know there was some controversy regarding, you know, the shots to the back of the head and everything else, but it was a pretty flawless, well, not flawless, but very dominant performance here for Gane. You go look at the significant strikes, 54-12. Very impressive on Gane's end. He's in blue here. Very good win, really putting a stamp on him earning that interim title. And now they can, you know, unify. And like I said, hopefully this will be done before the 1 year mark, but I highly doubt this fight's going to be made, you know, either October 25th or later. It's probably going to be before that. So yeah, I mean, all accounts is a very good thing that's happening. We'll see what card they look at. Just kind of looking at the UFC schedule right now. I know there's that card coming up in Paris, but I mean, Tom Aspinall is going to fight on a numbered event. They're not going to do, you know, an event here. Like we've basically got, you know, September in Paris. I don't think they'll do that. It's probably going to be one of the numbered events, which we'll see what that is, whatever UFC 331 is or 332. Maybe they do it in New York, right? In November. Although no, that would be after October. So probably not that late, but, yeah, maybe September, whatever that's going to be. We already have we know the August card's going to be, Islam and Gary for August 15th. So possibly September, maybe it's October, but, could be earlier in October. We'll see. So either way, it's going to be in a big market. Like, this is a pretty big fight. The heavyweight title is always a big fight for them. That's part of the reason why they put the interim title on the White House card. So yeah, we'll see how Aspinall looks. We'll see when he's back to training. I haven't seen a whole lot. I mean, I'm not a regular viewer of his YouTube channel. So I don't know what the type of training's been like, or if he's even back to full force training, but like I said, it's very good here. If we do take a quick look at the Instagram, yeah, not seeing a ton of training stuff here, although some running, which is good. So yeah, we'll see in the coming weeks how he looks. Hopefully no setbacks, hopefully no issues there. The one other thing I wanted to add in this video as well is Eddie Hearn did go off on Bisping, which I thought was interesting. Obviously, Bisping made some comments towards Aspinall, kind of criticizing him a little bit. And Eddie Hearn, you know, you can see the tweet here from Ariel, but we'll listen to the audio here. It's just a couple minutes. Eddie Hearn talking about Michael Bisping here and not holding anything back here. So let's hear what Hearn has to say.
What do you say to people? There's people like Michael Bisping out there who say that you're just using Tom as a pawn.
These are people that are on the payroll, right? These are people that have been suppressed themselves. And these are people that don't have any backbone about them, right? Michael Bisping should be ashamed of what is being proposed to Tom Aspinall to be in a fight like Ciryl Gane with that amount of money that is in the pot. He is a fighter. He should stand up for what's right for fighters. So what are you saying, Bisping? Do as you're told. Shut up. Take your money. That's all you're worth. There's 60 million in the pot, right? Be quiet. You're getting 3% of the pot. You're the fighter. You're putting your health on the line. You're the talent. You're the reason this organisation is what it is. And Bisping should be ashamed of himself for that. And I keep saying to Bisping, sit down with me, live, and we'll have a debate about it. And he'll never do it because he knows he can't say certain things. But he's a fighter. He should be standing up for the best interest of the fighter, not allowing fighters to be suppressed and bullied and told what to do or what to accept. The whole thing, and I see it more and more now across the UFC, across the White House. Why aren't these guys there? The reason they're not there is because they don't want them to feel like they're a star. They don't want them to feel like they have value. Yet these guys, you talk about, the likes of Sean O'Malley. He could walk around in New York City, he'd get mobbed. They're paying fighters.
So yeah, the rest of it is just sort of talking about the fighter pay, but I wanted to include that, and there's some truth in there. I mean, I don't think Bisping would. Bisping has his own show. I don't think he would bring him on, and then Bisping is an employee of the UFC. He's a commentator. Hearn's right a little bit about that. Where Hearn's wrong, though, in my opinion, I've talked about this in other videos, the UFC kind of holds all the cards. Like, you don't really want to rock the boat while you're under contract. There's not much you can do. It's not like Dana White's going to have like an epiphany and go like, you're right, Tom, I'll pay you way more money. Here you go. That's not going to happen. So that's the type of thing that should happen towards free agency if Aspinall runs out his contract or whatever. So that I kind of agree with Bisping on that end. But yeah, imagine these two did a debate or something. That would be interesting. I mean, Bisping's got his own podcast. It'd be pretty easy to set up. They're both from the UK. That would be a fun one to do. But yeah, I agree with Hearn that it probably won't happen. And again, there's some truth in that too. And you don't want to, again, rock the boat. And I wonder if Bisping's been told as well from Dana White being like, hey, you can't go talk to Eddie Hearn. We don't want to put anything out there. So yeah, again, I think Hearn's approach is good. I just think the timing of it is wrong with Aspinall still being under contract and he hasn't even fought yet. I think this is something you have a discussion with when you're getting close to free agency, or like what happened with Francis towards the end of his UFC contract, that type of thing. So we'll see how this all goes. But yeah, again, the main point of this video, though, it appears that Tom Aspinall is going to be coming back and fighting, and we can finally move on from this, right? This has been a whole, long time of this whole controversy with Gane's a dirty fighter. And, everyone's sort of the reaction after the Aspinall eye poke thing is that he's scared and that he couldn't continue and that he's faking it. We've seen all these doctors saying like, he didn't do the right surgery, like all types of just crazy stuff. And then it's funny when Gane fights Pereira and he does something dirty there, then it's Gane's a dirty fighter. But when he fought Aspinall, no one really put the blame on Gane. They always put it on Aspinall because he couldn't continue. And it's because Gane looked good in that fight. So I find that pretty interesting there, where like fans like kind of pick and choose. Oh, because it happened to Pereira, we got to turn on Gane on this fight. But because Aspinall's not the fan favorite, maybe as much, they had to kind of turn on him. So that's a bit interesting there. But yeah, good news. Aspinall's going to be back. Let's see when the date is. Let's see what's going to happen. Again, you heard it here first from his manager, Eddie Hearn. He's ready to return, and they're speaking to the promotion in the coming weeks. So we'll see what comes out of that. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. How would a rematch between Gane and Aspinall go? I think it's much more interesting than going into the first fight, right? I think Gane looked pretty good in that Pereira fight, didn't he? So I think the odds are going to be fairly even. I would also not be surprised if Ciryl Gane's the betting favorite going into that fight. Maybe like a 2-1 favorite. We'll see. Follow me on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, @Lynch on Sports. My name is James Lynch. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.